Tom Brady had his introductory conference call with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Tuesday afternoon. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Mike Petaglia. Mike, obviously we're familiar with how Tom Brady usually handles media interviews. He says a lot without really saying anything of substance, and there was a lot of that in the introductory conference call on Tuesday, but there was one question asked by Jeff Howe of The Athletic about what it would have taken for the Patriots to keep Brady, and that was probably the best response we got all day.
Yeah, and it was a 30-minute press conference with Jeff Light, the Buccaneers general manager, and Bruce Arians on the call at the very beginning. I think Bruce Arians got one call from a local reporter during the 30-minute press conference. Other than that, as you might expect, it was all Tom Brady. The one word I would characterize throughout the tone of Tom Brady's press conference was uncertainty. He sounded very uncertain about the future, obviously, with the COVID coronavirus going around, how that's going to impact his ability to get used to a new set of teammates, what the Buccaneers are going to be able to do, how he's going to be able to learn that system. But as you said, I thought it took 29 minutes and 30 seconds to get to the real key question asked by the Athletic's Jeff Howe.
What would it have taken for you to stay in New England?
Well, again, I don't want to talk about the past because it's not relevant to what's, important in my, future and what's going on this off season for me. And like I said, I had nothing but 2 decades of incredible experience and learning from some of the best players and the best coaches and the ownership of the team. And, I think for all of us, things in life can change and you got to be able to adapt and evolve. And with each of those changes become different opportunities to learn and grow. And that's where I'm at. And, anytime you leave somewhere, it's very emotional. And I've had my, it's been, the transition I would say is very emotional with a lot of guys that I've talked to that I've shared the field with because, the relationships are what matter most to me.
And, that was really the extent of which Tom Brady would get into his involvement with the Patriots. The other thing he did say, Sierra, was that his mind was made up when he met with Robert Kraft, and then eventually Robert Kraft and he met with Bill Belichick, and he was pretty much of the mindset that he was done in New England following that meeting a few weeks ago in the offseason.
Tom Brady absolutely not taking any opportunity to bash the Patriots there. Like we heard, he said he had nothing but respect and love. He said nobody's been a bigger Patriots fan than I have. So he's obviously moving on from the Patriots organization with very fond memories. But there were a lot of questions about him in Tampa, and there was only a few of those Patriots questions. And what I gleaned from what he had to say about being a Buccaneer is that he's really excited about the offensive weapons as what we all expected, a major reason why he went down there with Evans and Godwin and Howard and Brady. It's very intriguing to him. He mentioned how they have really unique skill sets, how they're extremely talented. But as you previously mentioned, he seemed pretty agitated or frustrated, as the entire world is, with the COVID-19 pandemic and how that's affecting his ability to prepare, because we know how prepared Tom Brady likes to be.
And the other thing is he also mentioned how much film work he does, and that's not going to change. Brady, I think, very coyly tried to point to some of his strengths that he feels he has that will serve him well during this pandemic and during this forced break from all types of football activities, likely through the end of May and into June when you're talking about OTAs and mandatory minicamp. The irony of that, of course, is that Tom Brady has skipped OTAs the last 2 seasons, his last 2 seasons, as it turned out, in New England. So he's used to that to a degree. But the thing that he also mentioned was how much film study he does and how much film study he puts in. And he feels like that will help him get to know some of his players, some of his new teammates, like you mentioned, like Mike Evans. And the other thing I would also say is that he definitely intends to make use of technology to try and conference everybody in when possible. He said technology is a great thing. use of that.
And one more interesting little tidbit. Brady said he won't have any comment on whether or not he'll be wearing his legendary number 12 in Tampa Bay this upcoming season. We'll have way more coverage for you on the Tom Brady situation, as well as more Patriots moves on our website at clnsmedia.com and on our YouTube channel at Patriots Press Pass.